Everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Value Hunting. It's game week 18 on Sorare, and some of the rules have changed a little bit. We no longer can use our limited cards in rare contests, so we're going to have to dig a little bit deeper. We've noticed, too, the last couple of weeks, value's gotten trickier, so we're going to have to do our homework here and hopefully have some more injury news that opens up some value. But, of course, before we get started, if you are new to Sorare and into fantasy basketball, do me a favor and sign up using the link we have in our show notes. That immediately gets you started for free. You get 20 free common cards. If you buy 5 things on the limited or auction, on the limited or rare auction, you get a 6th thing free, and it helps us out. So go ahead and use our link. And as always, we're using Momentum Labs projections, and you can find those in the show notes as well. That's behind the paywall, though, so you get to sign up for a membership. But you get to see them on this show for free. We'll also use them again tonight on Live Before Lock at 5:30 Eastern. So it's Monday, the 19th at 5:30 Eastern. We'll be back with Live Before Lock. Let's dive in. Let's dive into the spreadsheets. We'll poke around at Sorare first just to make sure we get a good grasp of what all of these contests are going to be. So here we go. They're still doing that league pass on us, baby. The common champion. If you're just playing commons, this is where I'd put my focus on the common champion because the top 1,000 get a limited tier. I actually finished 151st in that contest, and we're getting a limited tier 3. We also have the reveal of the common all defense, which is very exciting. On limited side of things, we have the contender, the champion. We have limited all offense. We can look at this for a second, too, just to understand how it's going to work here. Eligible scoring categories are points, assists, rebounds, threes, dubs, and trip dubs. For anyone that was, pissed off about turnovers, you don't have to worry about that here. We should look at the prize pool here for a second, right? So in the limited all offense, there's already 3,000 entrants. Only 230 cards are up for grabs. First place gets a tier 1, second place a tier 1, third place a tier 1, 4th through 20th a tier 1, 21 through 50th tier 2, 51 through 100 tier 3, and then so on 4 and 5. So I wanted to point that out because someone pointed out today in their limited underdog, they did really well and only got a tier 3. I do think part of your lineup construction process should be looking at how many prizes are being allotted to said contest, and 2, what the breakdown is. Because like in this contest, right, already we're seeing there's 3,000 entrants for 230 paid spots, right? And so it's early. I'm assuming that gets up over 7,000, 8,000. So you're thinking like 4% of the field is going to get paid out. When you look at the limited contender, right, there's 5,300. I think that also probably gets to like 8,000 or 9,000, right? And then 2.2K get paid out. So it's important to think about where you're using your best cards, what lineups you want to focus on. I'm continuing to focus my energy on rare contender and limited contender because that seems to be my best chance of getting some rewards back. And then I usually go rare contender, limited champion, and then just kind of fuck all the rest. Sorry, F-bomb in a recorded show. Are you kidding? But that's kind of what I do. All right, let's dive in. As always in this sexy show, our job is to try to find 5 or 6 plays with a cap of 20 or below that aren't going to break the bank here. A lot of this is usually based on injury news. I apologize. I'm battling a cold, so I'll mute occasionally to cough. But it's quick, and it's, we work through it. We work through our challenges. Some might say, hey, Mike, why don't you just edit that out? We don't get time, baby. It's Monday. All right, so we're going to scroll down. Again, we're using Momentum Labs. We'll start with a cap of 20, see what kind of stuff is going to pop here. So right off the bat, we see with the 19 on Yeka Okongwu. So Okongwu really disappointed this weekend. The Hawks only had one game, right? They only had one game, and he got 21 points. It was a weird matchup, too. Well, it wasn't a weird matchup, honestly. It was against Charlotte, so they should have cooked. But just didn't really pop. And Frank Kaminsky, who we talked about in the Live Before Lock, Frank's got this weird role. We're actually going to look up Kaminsky after this, where he is the backup big with Capella being out. And the Hawks kind of suck right now. So if Kaminsky should have a secured role as a backup, but also if it's a blowout one way or the other, he gets extended run. I don't think he's a great play, but somebody to think about. Okongwu, however, should be a great play. With a cap of 19, a projection of 29. Again, he got 21 over the weekend. I feel like his ceiling is upwards of 40, and his floor is probably 20. So this feels like a sharp play. Let's go to Kaminsky actually now Kaminsky has a cap of 6 and a projection of 20. So there you go. He's going to be one of your better plays today. I think he's way riskier than that projection of 20 feels high to me. However, they do have 2 games. So you get 2 cracks at the apple. Is that a saying? 2 bites of the apple. Anyways, Kaminsky, I think, is a solid play. Mainly brought him up to give us our little victory lap before we even get going. Jalen Duren. We talked about him last value hunting show. Over the weekend, he put up a 14.15 rebound type play. I think Duren's fine. The Pistons suck now, right? They're in full tank mode. I think he is going to continue to get run because he's a young rookie. I feel like, I don't know if he's got like 45, 50 point upside, but I mean, he does seem like he's going to get double digit rebounds at least. So I like Jalen Duren quite a bit. Okongwu is a safer play. Duren, that projection 27 feels high. But both of those great plays, but priced appropriately. Let's actually go over to the market and see what that's going for right now. I'm sure the sheets were updated this morning, so I'm sure that's pretty close. But let's see what Onyeka I could actually see going down because he had a poor performance over the weekend. Yeah, 29 for Onyeka. Let's actually look at Kaminsky while we're here. Frank the Tank. Kaminsky $10. For a cap of 6, man, I kind of like it with 2 games too. And then let's look at Duren while we're here. Duren. Yeah, low ask. All right, so that's pretty accurate. All right, let's keep moving. Try to find some cheaper values. We've got next up on the jock at Victor Oladipo, whatever. I think he's fine. They only have 1 game, though, and his situation's a little weird, so I might stay away from that. We get to the 18 range. Poku. His role increased a little bit because of injury. I think he's fine. He's not my favorite. Isaiah Joe, has a cap of 18. He's been playing backup guard minutes. This is pretty dependent, though, on SGA missing another game. I don't think we have that news yet. SGA played in one of the 2 games over the weekend, hurt his backside, and that's why he missed Sunday's game, but unclear if they think he's going to be out or not, so we'll have to pay attention to that. In the 17 range, Dennis Schroeder. We should talk about the Lakers situation a little bit more because Anthony Davis is going to miss a month, right? The biggest injury news that we got to take away from the weekend is Steph's out a month, AD's out a month. So the direct correlation here is that Thomas Bryant becomes a better play. Damian Jones, like a fringe play. Maybe they're saying Dennis Schroeder takes up more of the usage. Honestly, LeBron just becomes a monster play now. Because of all that usage, Russ as well. But Thomas Bryant, probably the direct correlation that you're looking for there. Eric Gordon, Jeremy Sohan, I'm not going to talk too much about them. Here we go. Tommy Bryant. His price, obviously, up to 29 with the injury news. Cap of 16 with a projection of 31. He, like, value-wise, I think he's probably popping more than Onyeka if we scroll back up. Yeah, so value-wise, he's the best play so far. But priced appropriately, $30 seems to be the going rate of these solid plays. Kenrich Williams, he's back from injury. He's got a cap of 15, projection of almost 24. I think Kenrich is fine. The OKC guys are interesting. They're kind of like San Antonio Light, where we might just get random injury news. And with 2 shots at it, you know, if all of a sudden Jalen Williams and like Jeremiah Robinson Earl misses another game, and who's their other big misses a game, then all of a sudden Kenrich is vaulted into a bigger role. Basley, he had a non-COVID illness. He missed both of his games over the weekend. He's got 1 game. So it's something to pay attention to. Cap at 13, projection of 25. But again, like that Poku, Kenrich, Basley, if they're all available, it kind of limits upside. But anyway, something to pay attention to. Terrence Davis, that was with some of the injuries news in Sacramento. He's popped a little bit. He's got a low ask of 7. Davis, high risk, high reward, I would say. Then we got Malachi Flynn, who walked into a bunch of minutes, I think with the Gary Trent Jr. news. He played a ton of minutes last game. I'd put him in high risk, high reward. For a low ask of 6, I don't hate the dart throw with a cap of 12. You can do worse. So I kind of like it. I think it's riskier. Although this projection probably feels right at 21. He's still playing backup 1 minutes, right? Aaron Wiggins, Jordan McLaughlin, Reggie Bullock, Javonte Green is green again, and Thaddeus Young. I don't know. In this Thaddeus. In this range, it's Malachi Flynn for me. Maybe Aaron Wiggins, but that's it. Reggie Bullock, you can make a little bit more noise for with the Maxi Kleber news, but honestly, that's just Christian Wood and Dwight Powell for me. Let's keep going down. Torian Prince, cap of 11, projection of 18. I'm not a Prince fan. Muscala, same thing. I don't love these in 11. If we're going to go cheap, let's go cheap. Eugene Amori. Again, there's too many OKC guys popping. A lot of this news is based on the SGA and Giddy news. So let me pull something up here on my end. You're not going to see this. I just want to double check here. As far as I know, SGA has not been ruled out yet, but let me double check, because if SGA and Giddy are out for another game, I'm pretty sure they're not. Like the breaking news, we have Suggs and Gary Harris for the Magic are still going to be out. Nurkic is questionable. Reeves should play. All right, I don't have any SGA news. So we have to pay attention to what's going on in the OKC before we trust a lot of this stuff down here. Willie Hernan Gomez for New Orleans, whatever. I don't love any of these. Miles McBride is fine. Malachi Branham for the Spurs. I don't know. Damian Jones, there you go. So we talked about Thomas Bryant, cap of 8 with a projection of 13. I think he played 16 minutes last night. I mean, Thomas Bryant is going to be the guy. Maybe they even play LeBron at like the 5 a couple of times, but Damian Jones is fine. Moses Moody popping. I don't know. In this range, I'd rank them Damian Jones, Frank Kaminsky. Those are your 2 best plays right here, right? And then Branham, I guess, but I don't love it. And then Christian Braun continues to pop. He's getting a lot of minutes, but he's not doing anything with it. I want to talk about Ty Washington for a second. So they've kind of split up Jalen. The Rockets have been what's the right word? Staggering some Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. a little bit more. So because of that, Ty's get his roles changing a little bit. I'm not going to be rolling out Ty this week. However, he is someone I'm going to pay attention to. Because I think he, like, for $6 or whatever, $7, whatever he's going for right now, this might be a play down the road, especially as the Rockets go in tank mode. You can see him getting some more run. So to recap, I think Ty and Christian Braun are fine, but they're not my favorite in this range. Ty more of a long-term play. Kaminsky, I really like. Damian Jones, I really like in this range. As we scroll up a little bit more, Miles McBride's always fine. The OKC news is going to dictate a lot of these guys who are popping. Then we get up here. Malachi Flynn is fine. Terrence Davis, I like. Baisley, again, that's more OKC news. Same thing with Kenrich. But Thomas Bryant, obviously a great play. And then we have Schroeder, Okongwu, and then who was the other one in that range? Jalen Duren. So that kind of recaps. Again, guys, the challenge of finding value is continuing to increase, right? It's a little sneaky. We have to pay attention to this injury news, and you got to be on it, right? Because the price pumps immediately. It pumps it. We saw it with the Lakers news. We saw it with the Curry news. But yeah, so best of luck out there. Again, tune into Live Before Lock. Sign up using our link for Sorare if you haven't done it yet. And as always, I appreciate everyone being here. Join the Discord. Hug your family.